Good morning, everybody. All right, so we have just under 5 minutes before we begin, and you can see what the weather's like, or you can probably hear it more likely. So we're going to be needing this to walk around the koala hospital, but that's fine. That's absolutely fine. If they can sit out there in the weather, so can we. We are going to be joined a little bit later by the CEO of the centre, Sue, who's going to be there to answer any questions that you might have. That we'll wander around, we'll see what the facility does, and I guarantee that you're going to be pretty amazed by this entire operation. In the background there, you're seeing an old historic home, and that is usually, or pre-COVID, it was open to the public. It's called Roto House, and it's actually in the grounds of Roto House where the Koala Hospital is situated. Unfortunately, it hasn't reopened since COVID, so we won't get an opportunity to have a look around there. And yeah, Tina, thanks for that. And I will also show you which koalas can be adopted and show you QR codes and how you can go about doing it as we walk around the centre as well. Sorry, I'm just juggling an umbrella here, and I want to scroll through this chat. This is going to be tricky today. If I've got both hands occupied, one with the gimbal and one with an umbrella, I'm going to probably struggle with the chat today. All right, so let me just get out under this umbrella and show you the entrance. And now the umbrella's not opening. Hang on. Open. Open sesame. All right, so as you approach the Koala Hospital, you come along this path, and this is the entrance over here. So we are literally located in a rainforest, and one of the features of a rainforest is that it gets high rainfall, and that's what we're getting this morning. It's been raining since, about 3 o'clock yesterday afternoon. It's been lovely soaking rain, and I'm just showing you this lovely mural on the outside of the Koala Hospital before we get started. All right, so the rain has eased a little. I'm almost brave enough to take the umbrella down. Am I? What do you think? Okay, I'm going to put this umbrella down again. Hang on a second, since I've just noticed the time has ticked over. Right, okay, so, and Kathy asks, on this is the exact same rescue the Melbourne guide took us to a couple of times. Believe he donated his tips the first time and adopted a koala the second time we went. Pretty colours on the mural. Yes, this is the same centre, Kathy, that Alex came to. I believe he's been here twice, and recently in September last year, he was able to, with the help of the Voyagers, adopt a koala. So I'll go into a little bit of that with you as well and see if there's something that we can manage together as a team today while we're here. All right, so let me turn the camera around. Good morning, everybody. My name's Lynn. My hair's messy. It's wet. Trying to keep it off my face. And we're meeting today in Port Macquarie at the Koala Hospital. Before we begin, I'd like to acknowledge that we're meeting today on the traditional lands of the Biripi people and pay my respects to their elders, past, present, and emerging. Okay, so let's turn this camera around and have a look, first of all, at what some of the things the Koala Hospital does, but we'll be able to ask Sue as we go around the centre more questions that she'll be able to answer better than I can. You just made it home in time, Tariq. Well done. Okay, so first of all, let's go through what the threats to koalas are, and there are many. The largest, of course, is loss of habitat, and it's believed that something like 80% of koala habitat has been destroyed or burnt by bushfire. They also are susceptible to diseases, one of which is chlamydia, and it can render females infertile. So we'll probably learn a little bit more about that as we go around through the centre as well. Sue might be able to help us understand a little bit about that. The ultimate goals of the Koala Hospital are firstly to care for the koalas that are brought here. If possible, it's to return them to their home habitat. If they don't know where the koala comes from, they can't do that because their survival isn't assured. Often they will relocate them to another centre for exhibit purpose, such as a zoo or like a Featherdale, a nature park, a sanctuary, something of that order. The koalas that remain here are used for education and research purposes. And that might mean that it's about the vets on site learning more about forensically examining the diseases that they've encountered, or the effective treatment of their injuries. So there's a lot of research happens here as well. And they work with other organisations such as education facilities to continue the research into koala welfare, koala survival. They provide a rescue service. So they have a hotline. They have a roster of volunteer rescuers. And then this talks about the admission and rehabilitation. There's a small gift shop here. We won't focus too much on that, though we may come back and have a look at it. But what I want to do in here is just quickly give you a little bit of an idea of some of the facts about koalas so that we can get an understanding. This actually shows you a skeleton of a koala, and it shows you the comparison of the skull and jaw compared to other animals. So its closest relative is the wombat. Here's the koala, and here's the wombat. There's a koala right above it. And then we have the jaws of the wild dog, the fox, and the domestic cat, which are the predators, probably their most likely predators. It also talks about the koala has 2 thumbs, and that's to facilitate their climbing. I wanted to try and see if I could. Here we go. I wonder if it's working. No, it doesn't appear to be working. I was hoping to let you listen to the mating call of the male koala because it's quite fascinating, but it's not working at the moment. We'll see if we can get back to that later. Alrighty. I need to go in.
You're missing all the action.
I'm missing all the action. There's koalas doing things. They're all active apparently. Okay, so let's go inside. Not mating season. All right, so let's go in quickly because apparently they're all being fed and they're all very active. Absolutely, Tina. We'll cover off as much as we can, but let's come in and actually... Oh, getting caught on trees. All right, so the first little fellow we have here is Campbelltown Ella. And there she is there. Let me tell you a little bit about Campbelltown Ella. She's an adult female, and she was transferred from WIRES, which is Wildlife Rescue, in March 2022, suffering from a neurological defect which affects her ability to climb. So obviously in the wild, she's not going to survive if she can't climb. Apparently, this little girl was found more than once. The carer yesterday told me it was something like 7 times she was found on the road. And she was getting too used to female interaction, so that's not good for her survival either. Ella has a very gentle nature and enjoys 5-star service at the Port Macquarie Koala Hospital. So they're going to look a little bit sad today because of the rain, but actually they live a pretty good life here, the ones that are permanent residents now. Where am I looking? Oh, right up there in the tree. Okay, here we go. So this one up here in the tree, she's in an enclosure with 2 koalas. So there's 2 of them in this enclosure. They're both blind females. One of them is one that Hago Voyagers are already familiar with. Her name is Emerald Downs Mary, and the other one is Ocean Summer. And they're both blind. So let me see if I can just get past this group of people. Oh, bear with me. And obviously the reason that they're here is because blind koalas cannot thrive in the wild, but they do very well here. They have excellent care, and yeah, so I'm just trying to figure out which one this one is. Where's the other one? Oh, right up there. Okay, so they're both up in the tree. The other one's right up. Isn't it fabulous that they have trees that they can climb? Sorry, I'm holding my umbrella up so that you can see that one there. And the other one is, oh, where is she? Where's she gone? There she is. So this tree is in an enclosure where they can't obviously escape to other trees, but they have the ability to at least use their, what they do instinctively, which is to climb. I'm going to zoom out again because that's just a little bit too far zoomed in. So let me just show you the information. Oh, hang on. Here we go. Hi, Sue. So here's Sue. This is Sue Ashton, which is the CEO of the...
No, I'm the chairperson of the board.
Chairperson of the board, okay. So Sue, many of you Voyagers would already be familiar with. You've met Sue here previously on other Hago tours. And we're just showing the Voyagers Emerald Downs Mary, who was adopted by the Hago family about 6 months ago. I can't work out which one she is. She's one of these 2 up here.
Yes, so Mary's the one that's the highest.
So Mary's the one right up high in the tree.
Ocean Summer is down lower because the Ocean Summer's not as confident at climbing.
Okay, let me see if I can zoom in again on Mary. But she obviously still loves climbing, even though her eyesight...
Even though she's blind. So
yes.
She climbs up, she'll climb up.
Sorry, I'm just going to point this at you for a moment.
Up, using her arms to pull herself up. And then at the end of the day, or when she wants to come down for food, she'll come down backwards again, using her arms to help her climb.
That's
down.
amazing, that adaptation. Yeah, fabulous. And how old is Emerald Downs Mary now?
They're both now about 10. So
about
they're
10.
On a little bit. So they've been with us for quite a long time.
And their life expectancy is somewhere between 15 and 20, is that right?
Yes, 12, 15 and 18. So,
right.
Males
okay.
usually live for 15 years and females usually live for about 18.
So they've got a few years left of some lovely, wonderful living here at the Koala Hospital, which is fabulous.
We call it 5-star service because they get fresh leaf every day.
Yeah.
And their enclosures are cleaned out every day, so it's really quite a pleasant environment.
Oh, look, they've got a great life here, which is absolutely fabulous. So how long's the facility been going, Sue?
So the Koala Hospital opened almost 50 years ago. In August this year, we celebrate 50 years.
Wow.
For a small community-run, volunteer-run organisation is amazing.
It is. It's fabulous.
And we're very proud of that. And we've been treating up to about 250 koalas a year. And they're sick and injured koalas. They come in and they've got some sort of injury or they're sick. And we try and rehabilitate them and get as many back to the wild as we can. So that's our goal.
Ultimate goal is to get them
rehabilitated.
Yeah, absolutely. So I understand that there was some good news. I met the baby Jazz yesterday. When was Jazz born?
Jazz was born about 10 months ago now.
Right.
So we've mated Jade, which is
Yes.
female, and Baz is the only koala left from the fire. Both healthy koalas, and mated them, and they had little baby Jazz.
Baby Jazz. Can we go around and meet Jazz?
Yes, definitely.
So Jazz, I discovered yesterday, has only been away from mum for 2 weeks.
Yes, that's right. In the wild, what happens is the female will gradually move away from their joey, and the distance and the time becomes greater. And with Jazz, it was time for him to start moving. Well, he'd already started moving away from Jane. So we've separated them, and it's gone quite well.
That's great. So Jazz is around.
Boy, he was still on her back at about half her size.
Still on her back at about half her size. My goodness. So this is Jazz in here. Where's Jazz? He's being pointed at. No, where is he? Right in front of me. Oh, there he is, right over the back there. Could you hold this for me? My hands are wet. All right, so this is baby Jazz over the back. It's a little bit tricky for me to see because I'm short, but there he is over the back there. And he's the baby of Jade and Baz. There he is. So he's only been out on his own for 2 weeks. He's a big boy. Look at him. Isn't he beautiful? And Jazz is available to adopt as well, isn't he?
Yes, he is. Yeah. And all of the money that we get through the adoptions goes to running the hospital. We don't get any government subsidies or ongoing support. So anything, an adoption or a donation is correct to us.
Sorry, did everybody hear that? So there's no government funding for this centre. I'll just let Sue tell us that again. There's no government funding for this centre.
We don't get any ongoing government funding, so we rely on the donations and our Adopt a Wild Koala program, which is the public, basically the public supporting us and supporting the care we do for koalas, which is really appreciated.
It's so important, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So what would you say the recovery is of the local Port Macquarie area after the bushfires?
After the bushfires, we're not sure. We're sort of a little bit uncertain. So in the bushfire, we lost hundreds of koalas. We know that because we were aware, we've done some counting and we were aware of what the population was. Since then, the numbers are definitely down, and we know that through our admissions. And we'd like to think that it's because they're healthy, but we know it's not. It's a decline in the koala population. But we're hoping that this season, maybe we start to see some new joys come through. But there's been an increase in motor vehicle strike. We've lost 21 koalas to being hit by a motor vehicle since August this year. And all of that is avoidable if people just slow down when they saw signs and things like that.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so sad.
That's having a really bad impact on our population.
He's pointing at me again. He's telling me to. Where am I looking?
Oh, yeah. I thought I saw it, but it was a knob in a tree.
Oh, okay, all right. Well, let's have a. Baz is up the tree, is he?
Yeah, we'll see him coming in.
Hard to see, but.
All right, well, let's have another look at Jazz. So it's a great amalgamation of the two names. I need you to hold this again for me, sorry. And I was asked a couple of questions, so let me just go back and have a look for those questions. There was one back here a bit. Dawn says, can she speak up? Dawn, were you able to catch that when I brought the camera back around? So basically what... I don't use a microphone, I just use the speaker on my camera. What Sue was saying is that there it goes, that they're not sure what the recovery of the population is after the bushfires. They still think it's in quite severe decline. They're hoping that it's coming back, but it's impossible to say just at the moment. They're waiting on various counts to come through before they know for sure what the recovery is after the bushfires. And there's no government funding. Funding is reliant on the public through the adoption and donation program. Michael asks, I wonder why that is, if there's no government funding.
That's a good question, Michael.
Sue says that's a good question.
We'd love to know too.
So she says we'd love to know too. And I guess, yeah, it's about priorities, isn't it? We don't know how the government works that one out.
Well, you got a new state government, so maybe they...
Janice said, did she say they lost 21 koalas? No, they lost hundreds of koalas in the bushfires.
In the bushfires, 21 koalas to motor vehicle strikes since August.
21 to motor vehicle strikes since August. Janice, that was. Okay. Can you hear me now? I'm asking you guys. How old is Jazz? Jazz was born 9 months ago, so he would have emerged from mum's pouch about 4 months ago. And he's just become independent, as in removed to his own separate enclosure here 2 weeks ago.
You can see he's doing quite well.
He's doing very well. Absolutely. Hi, Joanne. Hi, Brian. Sorry, I'm just catching up with a few who've joined. Hi, Deborah. Will Jazz be released into the wild? No, apparently because Jazz was born in captivity, he's not allowed to be released into the wild. Was that correct? Yeah. Although Dr. Charlie mentioned yesterday that there's a possibility that there's going to be a wild breeding program.
Yeah. So with the money that we got from the GoFundMe account during the bushfires, we raised a lot of money, and we were very, very fortunate to do that and appreciated the public support. But that all of that money is being directed to building a facility to house the world's first wild koala breeding program. So we're going to breed wild koalas for release to the wild to supplement populations that are under stress, but also to put koalas back where they have been in the past, but for some reason they've died out. And we moved to that facility in August this year.
Excellent.
And we start breeding. We start collecting what are called founders, which will be the joeys or the koalas going into the program in July. So July and August we'll collect our first founders, and next year we will hope to be releasing little joeys back to the wild.
Oh, isn't that exciting?
Wonderful. And it's sad we've got to do it, but we're going to do it, and we're doing it really well.
Excellent. It's excellent that you've got such great resources as well in terms of your staff. I mean, as I said, we met Charlie yesterday.
Yes, she's fabulous. Yeah.
Fabulous personnel and skills involved in the facility like that is amazing. So, yeah, that was Tina's question. Let me see if there's any more questions. I just want to quickly skim through and see if there's any other questions here. Can Jazz not turn around to see his cute face? I can't make him do that, Dawn. I'm doing the very best that I can to get the to get him to line up with the. There we go. Let me see. Is that any better? Now he's got a tree branch in the way. Okay. All right. I'm coming. I'm trying to follow the umbrella.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, guys. It's tricky with the rain and the umbrella and the zoomed in lens. Oh, that's not bad. That's okay. All right. And Barbara asks, perhaps a special tour here and other places so donations could be shared with the organisation agency. Well, this is what I'm trying to do today, Barbara. So, I'm calling on you guys to help me out. If we can get enough money together today, why don't we adopt Jazz? Why don't we sponsor Jazz? That would be amazing. So I'm really relying on you guys to help me out. And if we can, let's get a second koala under Hago's belt. That would be a great outcome for today, in my opinion. So that's on you guys. Help me out there, yeah? Why wouldn't we want to sponsor this little guy? We go and see Jade. Let's go and see Jade. So this is sorry, let me zoom out. Zoom out. Over there is Jazz's mum, and this is Warhope Jade. So here we go. Let me see. She's a little bit more placid at the moment than Jazz. And let me see if I can get you Jade's story. So it says here, in September 2020, Jade was found in the township of Warhope. I'm trying to read and zoom in as well. Hold the camera, the umbrella over there, and I'll let everyone take a postcard of the information so that they've got Jade's information there. And also there's the QR code. If anybody wants to sponsor their own koala, there we go. So she was found in the township of Wauchope. And historical records show that koalas haven't been seen there for the last 80 years. So how she managed to end up in Wauchope is a bit of a mystery. So let's see. There we go. There's the QR code if you're interested in adopting Jade.
We can't release this one because you don't know where it originally comes from.
So this one couldn't be released into the wild because they don't know exactly where she comes from. They have to be certain of her original habitat to be released back into the wild. Okay. Sue's just explaining that, so let me just get her to repeat that. Sorry. So Sue was just explaining why the original habitat is so important.
Koalas form populations, so you have an alpha male and an alpha female, and then around the outskirts of them you have the more senior koalas in the population, and then the juveniles outside them. And if they leave that population, and which they do, they move up to 100 metres away, but they come back, they go out, come back, go out, come back. And if they leave a population, you don't know where they've come from, and you can't just bonk a koala back in the middle of another population. They may not like the vegetation.
Right.
Their belief may not be able to sustain them, and it could cause all sorts of disruptions.
Societal problems? Yes.
Population. Yeah.
Right.
Even though they're solitary, their paths cross.
Yeah.
So you think someone actually just dropped it?
We don't know. We did a radio campaign and put flyers around, letterbox drops and posters to try and get information, and nobody knew where she came from. It was
Yeah.
a bit of a mystery, Miss Jay, and she's a beautiful koala. You can see from her photo, she's so pretty.
Let me show you the photo again, everyone. She's such a pretty girl. She's gorgeous. So there we go. That's Jade wandering the streets of Wauchope. Amazing. And what we've got behind us here is the closed off area that we don't have access to. Now, these koalas are ones that apparently are destined to be released into the wild. So human interaction is kept at an absolute minimum for these areas here. How many have we got in here at the moment, Sue?
About 20.
About 20?
Yes.
Wow.
And they're going through different treatments. So some have disease, chlamydia, and we have a chlamydia ward or wing. And then others are learning how to climb again. So when they've been in captivity, we don't just release them.
Right.
We've got to go through a series of enclosures to see if they can climb, build up that muscle chain. So Sequoia, who's in here, you can see she has a little tree. And our goal is to make sure Sequoia is going up and down that tree.
I saw her yesterday about, where is the fork? About there we saw her yesterday.
Yes.
Is it possible Jade was stolen?
Well, we don't,
Again, Sue says she doesn't know. It's, anything's possible, we guess. Yeah. Janice asks, how many did she say they have there in total? About 20 in rehab.
And we've got our exhibit koalas, so about 30 altogether.
There's one right in front of us, up in the little fork, right straight ahead.
So that's another climbing tree, Daz. So this is the final graduation tree. So if they're going up and down that tree several times a day, they're ready for release. Yeah. Back to the wild.
Back to the wild. Isn't that amazing? How exciting. Oh, you clever little thing, you. How beautiful. Isn't this amazing? Michael says, is there a market for stolen koalas? Michael, there's a market for anything. Unfortunately, there is a market for anything. Do you know how angry I get when I see sugar gliders as pets in America that we are not allowed to have as pets here in Australia? There is a market for anything.
So this is our jelly pre-release yard, but I can't see any of the jellies.
I think I saw one there yesterday, tiny little thing.
Peter and Daisy.
Peter and Daisy, little joeys, and this is their pre-release area.
So they're learning.
Bruce says, is it true they sleep 18 to 20 hours a day?
Yes, they do.
Yes, Bruce, they have the most chilled lifestyle.
Eat and sleep all day long.
So this is the pre-release yard here. It says, if a mother has been killed or has abandoned her joey and the joey is too young to care for itself, we provide a human parent to raise it.
So Baz, the father, is
Yeah, this is, what's his name?
Baz.
Baz.
Way Baz.
This is Jazz's dad, Ruin's Way Baz.
You see the tree with the Nestle's? If you go up and then go to the left.
Oh, I see him.
And that's Baz.
So Baz has a huge yard. Tell me why Baz gets so treated so well compared to...
Baz lost his claws in the fire. He's the only koala left from the fire.
Let me hear.
He lost his claws, so he wouldn't survive in the wild. He uses his hands to pull himself up and down the branch, but unfortunately he's very slow, and in the wild he can't do that grabbing motion.
Right.
He just wouldn't survive.
Okay, so he is, let me see. All right, so there's the big tree there. He's just to the right of it. Yeah, I know. I can see him in real life. I'm just trying to line him up through the... There we go. So there's Baz there. And in case you didn't hear, he's the last remaining koala here in the facility from the bushfire, and he lost his claws. So he can't climb using his claws. He uses his arms to pull himself up, and he can only use the thin, the narrow, the slimmer tree trunks to climb. So he's got this lovely big area with lots of trees, and he can't climb the big thick ones as a koala normally would. So he's got these little thin trees that he can actually pull himself up, which is, at least he's able to do that, isn't it? Isn't that great? And that's Jazz's dad. And if anyone's interested in Ruin's Way Baz, this is him here.
So, I mean, this koala in the street here, he really can't see.
There we go.
He's wandering anywhere.
And it just says, gives you instructions on how to find him in case he doesn't get pointed out, like we just had the the good luck to have someone point him out for us. So there's a couple more boys up here on the right. Yeah.
And he's very well other than the problems with his hands. So he's our side of the road.
So they're all hiding. They're all sort of... Okay, so this is Maria River Road Yarn, and the beginning of their name is usually indicative of where they were located, I understand, where they were found. So he's just up there under his little shelter up the top there. And late summer 2019, he was a small joey found killed up in the middle of the road and was lucky not to have been hit by a car. Wow. Okay, so... You know, this is how precarious their lives are. Oh, yeah. So Bobby's hiding in the foliage. So, Murwillumbah Bobby. Murwillumbah is a lovely town, by the way, if you ever come to Australia. Beautiful part of New South Wales. And he's just tucked up over there at the top of that pile of foliage there. There we go. So they're all sort of hunkering down in the wet weather right now. Not sort of getting out and...
Don't blame them.
No, don't blame them. And then we've got a couple more over here. Evans Head, CW. CW stands for something.
Angolesco Wonkin.
All right, I'm not even going to try and pronounce that.
He's a beautiful boy. He's only got one eye, but he's just such a handsome boy.
Oh, he's only got one eye. So he was called Kangaleska Wakan, which means sacred circle, but volunteers have abbreviated that to CW. Oh, the dear little thing. Now there he is over there, just tucked up. Oh, look at him. Oh, poor thing. Isn't it wonderful that they have a place like this to be cared for? Because goodness only knows what would happen to them if they were left to their own devices in the wild. They wouldn't survive.
None of our exhibit koalas would survive in the wild. That's the only reason that we have them here, so that we can share our information and knowledge with visitors.
Yeah.
They can go away like us, koala ambassadors, which is
Absolutely.
what we hope.
And share their stories.
Yes, that's right.
Absolutely. So, and this one over here, who's this one?
Ella.
No, Campbelltown, Ella.
Oh, Campbelltown Ella. We saw Campbelltown Ella. Tariq and Ollie the Bears. Tariq and the Bears, Ollie and Jimmy said, if I could, I would sponsor all of them. Barbara says, are those that remain here allowed to share space so they aren't alone? Well, Sue did explain that they're largely solitary animals in the wild in any case, but she has the two girls together.
Mary and Ocean Summer, and they've been together for a long time, so they're quite good, but you would never, ever put two males together because they would fight. So never, ever.
Yeah.
But they're solitary, as you said, and they don't need company, not like people. They're not like humans.
Yeah, so they're not missing out. They're not missing out by not having company.
This one's
We've got a bit of a group coming in, so I'll just move to the side. Just let this group move in, and then I'll
this one's got away.
I'll get to it. Hi, Pam and Eli the cat. Robin says, love Jazz, but how were his parents paired up? I did ask that yesterday as well. They don't usually breed here, but they did try that with Jade and Baz. Charlie explained to me yesterday that it's not something that you intentionally do, and it wasn't an accident.
No, it wasn't. And we knew that when we put them in the same enclosure, that chances were that she would become pregnant. So, yes.
So you're hoping to have a Joey.
Yes.
That was the outcome you were hoping for.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. There we go. I think that covers off. No, Sue's not a volunteer. Yes, she is a volunteer. I'm so sorry, Sue, for making assumptions about you. Sue is a volunteer. How long have you been with the facility?
6 years.
6. What a lovely place to come.
It is. It's just, it energizes you. So you can be, the stress of the world can sometimes be on your shoulders, but you can come here and just
absolutely.
take a deep breath and enjoy it. Enjoy nature.
Now, Richard spotted an escapee.
Actually, that looks real.
This one's not real, guys. So we don't have an escapee. What we do have outside the area here is the koala ambulance. So the koala ambulance is used often.
24/7, they're on call.
On call 24/7.
Yes, to go and do a rescue if needed or release a koala. Yeah. Just going back to that, we've got 200 volunteers and only 8 paid positions. And the volunteers do the bulk of the work. So the people you can see in the yards, the volunteers, the rescue service is volunteers, and that's what keeps the organisation going.
Oh, it's incredible work that you're doing. And sad to say that something like the bushfires, something as devastating as that, is what's required to bring attention to what you do.
Yes.
It's really sad. It's a conundrum, really, isn't it?
Yeah. It is.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Sue. I've really enjoyed meeting you today. Sue's going to continue with her day because she's got things to do. And yeah.
Thank you. Bye, everybody.
Here we go.
Bye, everybody.
Lovely to meet you. We've really enjoyed it. Thanks so much.
Bye-bye, Lou.
All right. Okay. Here's Ella. Ella's a little bit more visible now. Now, obviously, I have not acknowledged a single one of your tips, and really, I apologize for that. I thank you so much for your generosity. I was focused on Sue and the rain and the koalas and trying to spot your questions in the chat as well. So I'm very grateful for all your generosity. I'm really hoping that we've amassed enough today to sponsor or adopt one of these beautiful koalas. I'm going for Roto Jazz. Does anyone else have any different thoughts on that? Does anyone have a preference that they'd rather see? I think Roto Jazz is a great ambassador for the future, going forward into the future. What do you think? Thank you so much, everyone. Please adopt the baby Jazz. All right. Okay. I think you're speaking for everybody, Michelle. Should we have one last look around at the beautiful residence here? I think so. Let's go around again one more time, and I'll show you each and every plaque as we do so. We didn't get a chance to do that before. So this is Campbelltown Ella. There we go. She was the one that was brought in many times into wires and ultimately transferred here because she's just can't survive in the wild. And then alongside we have Evans Head CW. I'll come back to her plaque in a moment. Or his, that's the boy. All right, so the girls are still high up in the trees. And Sue said that the one really high up, right up there, that's Emerald Downs Mary. Isn't she amazing, climbing this tree blind? That's incredible.
Clinic. So
Oh.
she'll be bringing in. Hasn't started yet, but she's setting up to do koala assessments.
Is that okay for us to go in there?
Not in the clinic, but you can see through the window.
That would be wonderful.
Yeah. Okay.
Shall we go there now?
She's still setting it up, so I think probably another minute or so.
Okay, yeah, I'd love to do that. We're going to get to see Charlie doing an assessment through the windows of the clinic. So let's give her a minute or two to set up, and then we'll go in. So the other one, that's why the umbrella was in front of my face. Richard couldn't see. He was talking to Sue. This is Ocean Summer. And let's have a look at their two plaques one more time. So there's Ocean Summer up there. The two girls, the two blind girls. That's just incredibly sad. Here we go. Here's Ocean Summer. And this is the one that was sponsored by Hago's Voyages in September last year. All right, let's have another quick look at Jazz before we go and have a look at this assessment. All right, there's a big crowd around Jazz, so I'm not sure we're going to get to see him. Let me see. Okay, he's gone right up high. There we go. Oh, it keeps going out of focus. Every time I go up just a tiny bit. All right, so there's Jazz. All right, so let's go around and see Dr. Charlie. I'm trying to keep this water off my gimbal. I hope it's okay. I love them all, Rose says. Yeah, I do too. Aren't they amazing? They're so beautiful. And I love this place. All right, so here's the koala ambulance. Tina says his full name is Roto Jazz. Yes, Roto is the name of the property here, basically. So the old house that the hospital is located within the grounds of. So that's the old house over there, Roto House. Where do we have to go? Here we go. So this is Dr. Charlie. It says this koala is Tanisha. She was found distressed on the road and is currently having a health assessment. And there's another acknowledgement. So this is the sort of thing that the centre needs, isn't it? Donations, basically, to function. So as far as I can tell, Dr. Charlie is just setting up at the moment. The koala isn't in there yet, is it? MK, as far as I understand, the volunteers choose the names? There was one named Miracle Pearl Miracle, simply because it was found in a burning stump something like 5 days after the fires. And so you can obviously understand how that name was arrived at. And the first part of the name, as Tina says, is usually the town or the location, the road that they were found on. Cassie, I think it's fair to say that the koalas are in a really good place here, because the alternative is doesn't bear thinking about, really. So how do you judge a koala's happiness? I think contentment is probably the best judge of that, and they all seem to be pretty contented. So Charlotte, we're still waiting for Charlotte to come in with the koala, so we'll just wait. Hi, Ronnie Lynn. And here's Jade. Here's Jade, the mum of Roto Jazz. So Warhope is a timber town, but as the sign said, they haven't seen koalas there in almost 80 years, so it's a real mystery as to how Jade came to be in Warhope. Oh, here we go. Sorry, can I squeeze in somewhere? Okay. Oh, they'd have to. They'd be terrified. So we're assuming that Tanisha's already anaesthetised, which they would have to do because the koala would be terrified otherwise. So I can tell you, I met Charlie yesterday and she's just such a beautiful person. This koala is in excellent hands.
16 times 20. Try 16.
My guess is that they'll swab for chlamydia. Oh my goodness, I'm getting all choked up. I don't know about you guys, but I'm getting a little choked up over here.
You're from here? Oh.
Okay, so they're shaving one of its arms. So I'm wondering if they're going to need to do an IV treatment of some sort. IV or blood work. Yeah, possibly blood work, Barbara. So, heart rate, is that a heart rate? No, just the one is a vet, the other is an assistant, a volunteer. Oh, there goes the cannula for the blood work, I'm thinking. That's true, Michael. I know nothing about Tanisha, Tina. There's only the little sign that's in the window of the clinic. That's all I know. I think I might finish up here. We're probably not going to see very much more of what's happening in the clinic. So I think we'll move away. We've got an amazing look at the operations there in the clinic. I'll just quickly show you one of the Hello Koalas, which is here. Tariq, I'm not sure if I should say, when I was talking to Charlie yesterday, she took a phone call and she was being asked on the progress of one of the koalas in the back area. And I heard her say that she had to euthanize it. What we're just looking at here is the koalas and their status, as in those who are in permanent care, the ones that are in intensive care, we have some that are in home care. So I believe even Sue has a Joey that she's caring for at home. We have patients in the rehabilitation yards. And all of them attempt to, where they can, list their approximate age, what their problem was, whether or not they're a Joey. All of that is listed on this board here. Okay, so that's it for me, guys. As I said, if we've raised enough, and I'm confident that we have, I will adopt Roto Jazz. I will share the certificate with you in Hey Go Voyages and in my group, which is the Down Unders. Has anyone got the link that they could pop into the chat for my Facebook group, the one that Susanna and I manage together? There's also, in this shop here, there's postcards. Thank you, Virginia. Thank you for sharing that. You can join that group and share postcards there. That would be wonderful. I want to see all your postcards from today, and I will share the adoption certificate once we have him. I mean, this is an incredible place. I don't think anyone can argue that it's not worth supporting. There's Bondi Vet, yes. Chris Brown, Bondi Vet. Thank you, everyone. All right, I'm going to finish up here. The rain hasn't stopped. My umbrella has returned. Let me, where is he gone? There he is. Yeah, my umbrella's returned, so I can safely return to the car now. Okay, thank you so much, everyone. I'm so glad you enjoyed the tour. I appreciate all of your support, and thank you so much for your generosity. I'm absolutely confident that we will be able to adopt Roto Jazz, and I'll keep you updated with that. So look forward, keep an eye out for more news on that. Thank you so much, everyone. Okay, bye for now.